A year and a half ago, I decided to quit my job and to fully follow my own path. I believed that it was possible to create a business that I'm excited to work on, that makes money, and that not only fulfills me, but fulfills other people. And it's been a year and a half that I've been on this path of self discovery, trying to find what I like, what I want, and who I want to help, and who I can help with my skills. It's been an incredible journey, even though it was really hard. It was very beautiful as well. And in this video, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about it. If you're thinking of starting a social media journey, starting a business, quitting your job for something very brave and ambitious, this video is for you. For you who are in the middle, in the messy middle, in the phase where you might need a little bit of clarity, courage, and alignment. I want to share this part of my life that has been completely transformative, and I want to help you find the right aligned path for you. So, my name is Lara, and let me just tell you a little bit about why I left my day job. I felt so misaligned. It was not a conventional day job. It was like I was working as a musician on cruise ships. So at first, this was my passion, but I very quickly got tired of it. And what stood out to me was the lack of freedom and the lack of purpose. I really wanted to build something of my own and in the way I wanted to. And I just guess I'm not someone who's meant to have a boss. And I thought to myself, I'm just not disciplined. I should just, do the same as everyone else. I didn't know anyone who had created a business that was around who they were, that they truly loved, and that was making good money at the time. And apart from famous people. And so I thought, there's no way I can do this, especially because I have no qualifications, no experience. And apart from music, there's nothing I could do. And I didn't want to do anything related to music. So I didn't have it easy at all. And I'm still learning through the whole process. But I could feel at the time that I was trying to escape my life through partying, through addictions, through looking forward to the weekend, quick dopamine hits, sugar, everything. I could feel like I was just not fulfilled. And I somehow thought it was normal. But now I can tell you that this is not normal. If right now you're in a job, or if you're work in a relationship, but like in your professional life mainly, because that's like 1/3 of your life, if you are in a place where you're not fulfilled, where you don't feel happy with yourself, where you don't get excited in the morning, that's not normal. And I mean, it's what most people go through on earth, and that's okay. But there's a way out. There's a different way to live your life, I believe, than working a job you actually don't like and always having to struggle and to worry. And to me, that path that you can take on that is fully yours, full of self-discovery, and ultimately that can lead you to having the real impact that you want to have in the world, building the business that you want to build in the world, to me is called the aligned path. And this is what I've started a year and a half ago, maybe even before that. But through this whole path, there has been a lot of chaos to me. The fear of not having enough money because I'm not having an income, obviously. The uncertainty of thinking, is all the work that I'm putting in this project actually going to pay off? And for most of the projects I started, it didn't pay off because I pivoted. And not because I failed on an external level, but because internally I realized this is not what I wanted to do. I think that the feeling of being misunderstood as well by the people around you. I've been very supported by the people around me, but like if you start a business or if you start a journey like that, that's unconventional, and that you really start believing in your dreams, you're probably going to notice that a lot of people don't understand and will try to shut you down or will doubt what you're doing. And like this is for everyone who has started big businesses or big things. Everyone thought they were crazy until they succeeded, and then people asked them like, how did you do this? And so it is a very lonely path, and the loneliness and the feeling of being misunderstood can be really tough at times. I really felt like I lost my identity as well. If you're about to start a journey like this, like starting your own business and stepping into your aligned path, there are going to be identity shifts. The person that you used to be will kind of die because you're putting your energy on something else. if you quit your job or if you start something new, the identity that you used to have will just fade away. And that's really tough, I think, because especially from in my case where I had a very Instagrammable life, traveling and playing in the evening, I had it all, literally. And I just became that person who just shares on social media and it's not as cool as it may seem in terms of like people understanding you. Most people, they will never try something different than just working their job that they might not fully like and doing different things with their lives that are like conventional. And so once you start something out of the conventional, you have to expect to be misunderstood. And yeah, the loneliness through all of this is definitely something to talk about as well. But most importantly, like how your daily life would change when you are starting your aligned path. To me, it's like you are fully committed to it and you're possessed by it. Obsessed by it. And you're so excited about what you're doing. And I feel like this is the most beautiful feeling because a lot of times in my life, I try to escape, for food, for smoking, for relationships, and now it's like you don't have to escape anymore. You can work on your project and also have faith that it might work. Whether you want to start creating content or starting a business, doing coaching, whatever it is. And which leads me to my next point, which is the real work. What is the real work to me? This is something really interesting between external skills and self-discovery. So at the very beginning, I thought that what would hold me back and get me to spend so much time making money and building a business and building an audience, I thought that this would be external skills like, oh, I don't know how to sell, I don't know how to show up on camera, I don't know how to build a community, I don't have anything to teach people, and also all the limiting beliefs, right, that there are around this. And after a year and a half of trying to find myself and my aligned path, I can tell you that what took me the longest time was actually to realize after a couple of months of working on a project that this is not what I wanted to do. And so I pivoted. For example, I pivoted last week. I was helping musicians land cruise ship gigs and it was going well, but I realized that this is not what I wanted to do. I realized that I wouldn't be fulfilled long term. And that's why I think starting a business and starting your aligned path is just the best way to get to know yourself truly and to do the real work on yourself, because you'll get to know what you care about. Like, what is it that you care about? Do you even know now? If you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel and stuff, like, do you want to connect with people and build a small community in a very niche topic? Or do you want to have a massive impact in the world on like helping people believe more in themselves? That's actually what I really care about. Or are you really motivated by money? Do you want to work really hard towards something you love? Or do you just want to work 2 hours and make enough money just to make a living? Like, these are questions that I didn't figure out until I went through this whole process of discomfort and uncertainty. And the real work to me was also how to listen to my intuition more than my brain. Because yes, of course, our brains are very helpful, but I believe, and I will keep believing this until I make it, that it is possible to build a business around what you love by waking up in the morning and feeling excited about working on it. That can have a real impact in the world, that can make a lot of money. And that's it. I just believe that's possible. And this, I can't explain it with my brain. Probably, yes, I can explain it with my brain because I've seen a lot of people do this. I know that, some people that I really admire, like Alex Hormozy, Stephen Bartlett, Jay Shetty. I know these are people who live in their purpose. They don't have it easy every single day, but they live in their purpose. So if they can do it, why can't I? Right? And so it's about, like, my intuition is telling me just go forward, go ahead, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable, because it will pay off. You'll get to know yourself and you'll get to know what the next step is if you just look forward and do what you can today and not choose comfort. Because trust me, it would be so much comfortable now to just go back to my previous job and make a lot of money and have the status, the identity, the certainty, like everything. But when you truly listen to your heart, to your gut, to your soul, if you're a bit spiritual, then you're really convinced to actually go forward and to go for it. And no matter what your brain tells you, no matter what your fears or doubt tell you, you just want to move forward. So to anyone who wants to work towards their dreams, who wants to start a business, start a community and audience, but that feels scared. If you're right now, you're scared, you need courage, you need clarity, you need someone to tell you, hey, you can do it. I have a few lessons for you. For example, you might be like someone who wants to leave their job to start a business. I would always advise like having a financial runway, right? Or like if you're someone who wants to allow yourself to start to speak online about your beliefs or whatever matters to you and to build an audience around that, I have 3 lessons for you. Number 1 is there are 2 ways of seeing things. And I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but trust me, it's so true. I spent a year and a half making 0 income up until last month. I made money for the first time in my life in the past month. Apart from that, I spent almost a year and a half without making any money. I hadn't built anything concrete because I was starting over every time because I was getting to know myself. But still, I see this time of my life extremely valuable, and I'm so grateful for it because I've grown so much. I've learned so much about myself. I've developed so many skills on social media about business skills, but most importantly, I've learned how to deal with fear, doubt, uncertainty, and how to believe in myself for real. And so there are always 2 ways to see things. If you're able to see failure as an opportunity or as a learning experience, and as a way to get closer to who you truly are, then it's not failure anymore. And if you have this capacity, you can pretty much achieve anything in the world, I believe. Lesson number 2 is take action and clarity will come after. Again, this is something that we see quite a lot on social media, but it's so true. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. See, like I've just started this format on YouTube where I'm just talking and I'm not editing anymore. I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm not even sure who exactly I'm talking to, but I'm taking action, and I trust that if you're watching right now, you're going to drop a comment below. You're going to tell me who you are. You're going to tell me how I can help you, and then I'm going to be able to create content around, like you and other people who might be following. So sometimes taking action, even if it's messy, is just so important because this is what gives you clarity, internal clarity, but also external clarity. Don't try to get it perfect from the start. It just doesn't work. You cannot expect to be perfect at something you've never done before. And unfortunately, you can't even expect to be perfect as yourself, because if you're only just starting a self-discovery journey in a very intense way, like starting a business or a social media journey, then it's going to take you a little while to feel comfortable in yourself, with yourself. And it's okay to mess up. It's okay to fail. This is actually what gets you to, more fulfillment, more purpose, and ultimately the life you want to have. And lesson number 3, lean into discomfort. This is something I'm still trying to figure out, but discomfort is growth. I can't tell you how much I've changed in a year and a half. If I hadn't chosen discomfort every single day for a year and a half, I would probably be very close to the person I was a year and a half ago. But I've completely changed. I don't rely on other people's opinions anymore. I fully believe in my own path. I have a lot less money than I had last year because I've spent some of my savings, but I feel way more confident about this than I did a year ago. And this is just so valuable. I think if you have the ability to lean into discomfort, you're just going to learn so much, grow so much, and succeed very quickly. I worked very hard for the past year and a half. I worked on myself, I worked on my fears, and I worked on building projects. My idea being exactly the same as a year and a half ago, building a business that can be fun to work on, that can make money and have a great impact in the world, and that can fulfill me, and that can be exciting to wake up in the morning. And I worked so hard, I don't regret one bit of it because I grew more into the person I'm meant to be. And if you feel like there's a dream waiting for you to take action on, if you feel like this is your time to actually go for it, one of the most important lessons that I have understood in this year and a half is that the one thing that you should be really scared of losing is not money, it's time. Time is so precious, and every single second that you're spending doing something else than what you're truly meant to do, your life's work, is wasted and will never get back to you. I mean, I don't mean to be scary and all this, but it's really important to be aware of this. Time you won't get back. It's so important that now you go for your dreams, you go for what you're actually meant to do, and to trust the process. So if you want to chat further, feel free to leave a comment below by letting me know what are your big dreams, and to start saying it, calling it out loud. I'll reply to you. And if you want a deeper, like just one-on-one conversation, you can text me on Instagram. I'm at Lara Safi, or Facebook, or even email you can find on my profile. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and for showing up for yourself. Feel free to let me know what you're working on, what kind of content you'd like. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.